Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something. God is ready to bless you today, right now, not next week, not next year, today. But the question is, are you ready to receive it? Speak words of faith. The words we speak have power. Whether we realize it or not, every word that comes out of our mouths is shaping our lives in one way or another. Many people don't receive the blessings God has for them simply because they are speaking against what He is trying to do. They declare negativity over their lives without even thinking about it. They say things like, "I'm always broke," "Nothing ever goes my way," or "I'll never be successful." And what happens? Their words become their reality. God designed us in His image, and just like He spoke the world into existence, the words we speak create the atmosphere around us. If you are constantly speaking defeat, don't be surprised if you feel defeated. If you are always talking about what's going wrong, don't be shocked when things keep going wrong. But when you shift your language and start speaking faith, doors begin to open, opportunities start showing up, and you invite God's favor into your life. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 18:21 that life and death are in the power of the tongue. That means your words either bring life to your situation or they bring destruction. If you wake up every morning and say, "Today is going to be a blessed day," you position yourself to walk into that blessing. If you declare, "I am healthy, strong, and favored," your mind and body start aligning with that truth. You may not see the results immediately, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Faith requires you to speak it before you see it. Even when life gets tough, your words should reflect your trust in God. It's easy to complain when things aren't going right, but that's the moment when you need to speak faith the most. Instead of saying, "I don't see a way out," say, "God is making a way for me." Instead of saying, "I'm stuck," say, "God is leading me to something greater." When you talk like that, you shift your mindset from fear to faith, and that opens the door for God to move. Think about people who are successful, people who seem to always have favor on their lives. One thing they all have in common is that they don't waste their words on negativity. They speak as if what they're believing for is already theirs, and you can do the same. If you want to be blessed, start talking like you already are. If you want to see breakthroughs, start speaking them into existence. If you want to live in abundance, start declaring it now. God is ready to bless you, but He won't override the words coming out of your mouth. Speak life, speak faith, and speak as if your blessings are already on the way. Because when you do, you position yourself to receive everything He has prepared for you. Trust in God's timing and remove doubt and fear. One of the biggest reasons people miss out on God's blessings is because they are impatient. We live in a world where everything happens fast. Instant downloads, quick deliveries, and answers at our fingertips. But God doesn't operate on our schedule. His timing is perfect, and He knows exactly when to release what we need. The problem is, many people get frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as they want. They start questioning God, wondering if He even hears their prayers. But just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean He's not working behind the scenes. Every blessing has a set time, and when you learn to trust that, you'll find peace even in the waiting. When a farmer plants a seed, he doesn't stand over the ground demanding it to grow overnight. He understands that the process takes time. He waters it, nurtures it, and trusts that in due season the harvest will come. The same is true for the blessings in your life. If God gave you everything you wanted the moment you asked, you wouldn't be prepared to handle it. Sometimes He's not saying no, He's saying not yet. He needs to develop you first, to grow your faith, to strengthen your character, and when the time is right, what He has for you will come to pass. But while you're waiting, doubt and fear will try to creep in. That's the enemy's way of getting you to give up before the blessing arrives. He whispers thoughts like, what if it never happens? What if you fail? What if you're not good enough? If you entertain those thoughts, they will take root and block what God is trying to do. Fear will keep you stuck, afraid to step into the opportunities that God places in front of you. Doubt will make you second guess yourself, causing you to walk away from doors that were meant to be open. God never intended for you to live in fear. He tells us in 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That means the fear you feel is not from Him. He wants you to walk boldly into the blessings He has prepared for you. The enemy will try to make you believe that you're not ready, that you're not capable, but if God put the vision in your heart, He will give you everything you need to accomplish. The key is to trust Him even when you can't see the full picture. Don't let fear talk you out of your blessing. Don't let doubt convince you that God has forgotten you. He hasn't. He's simply preparing you for something greater. The moment you stop worrying, stop doubting, and start believing is the moment you allow God to move in your life. The blessing is already on the way. You just have to be patient and trust that it will come right on time. Be open to opportunities, stay in a spirit of gratitude, and act in alignment with His blessings. God's blessings often come in ways we don't expect. Too many people miss out on opportunities because they are waiting for something that looks a certain way. They pray for financial increase, but reject the small opportunity that could lead to something bigger. They ask for new relationships, but don't make an effort to connect with new people. They want success, but hesitate to step out of their comfort zone. God rarely hands you a finished product. He gives you a door to walk through, a seed to nurture, a connection to build upon. When you learn to recognize His opportunities, you position yourself to receive more than you ever imagined. Being open to opportunities requires a shift in perspective. Instead of waiting for a perfect moment, you must trust that every step forward is part of God's plan. Even setbacks and disappointments can be setups for something greater. Joseph in the Bible was sold into slavery, falsely accused and thrown into prison, but every trial positioned him closer to the palace. He didn't reject the small steps, and because of that, he walked into the destiny God had prepared for him. The same applies to you. What may look like a challenge could be the very thing God is using to elevate you. Another key to receiving God's blessings is gratitude. A thankful heart creates room for more. When you focus on what you already have instead of what you lack, you open the door for greater things. Too many people complain about what's missing in their lives instead of recognizing what God has already done. If you have breath in your lungs, if you woke up today, if you have food to eat and people who love you, then you are already blessed. Gratitude shifts your mindset and allows you to see the goodness of God, even in small things. When you thank Him for the little, He will trust you with more. Gratitude also helps keep your faith strong during difficult seasons. It's easy to be grateful when everything is going well, but true faith is thanking God even when things aren't perfect. When you praise Him in the middle of the storm, you show that your trust isn't based on circumstances, but on His faithfulness. The enemy wants you to focus on what's going wrong, but when you choose to stay grateful, you take away his power. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Say, God, I trust that you are working this out for my good. That attitude will keep you in position for greater blessings. Finally, receiving God's blessings requires action. You can't just pray for opportunities. You have to be prepared to walk through them. If you're asking for a new job, are you improving your skills? If you want better relationships, are you working on yourself? If you want financial increase, are you managing what you already have wisely? God rewards those who are ready, When your actions align with your faith, doors open. When you live as if your blessing is already on the way, you make room for it to manifest. Faith without works is dead, and the people who see the greatest breakthroughs are the ones who take steps toward them. Remove doubt and fear, be open to opportunities. Stay in a spirit of gratitude and act in alignment with His blessing. Doubt and fear are two of the biggest obstacles that prevent people from receiving God's blessing. When God places something on your heart, the enemy will try to fill your mind with reasons why it won't work, why you're not ready, or why you don't deserve it. Fear makes people stay in their comfort zones, afraid to take the necessary steps forward. But God never intended for you to live small. He has great plans for you, but those plans require you to trust Him, even when you don't have all the answers. When you remove doubt and step out in faith, you allow God to move in ways you never expected. Many blessings come disguised as opportunities, but too often people reject them because they don't look the way they imagined. Someone prays for a financial breakthrough but ignores a small business opportunity. Another person asks for new relationships but refuses to step out and meet new people. God rarely hands us a finished blessing. He gives us an open door, a chance, a connection. It's up to us to recognize these opportunities and move forward. When you're open to the possibilities God presents, you position yourself for something greater. Sometimes the very thing you're avoiding is the blessing you've been praying for. Gratitude plays a major role in receiving more from God. A heart that is full of gratitude is a heart that attracts blessing. When you focus on what you already have instead of what you lack, you create an environment for increase. Many people block their blessings by constantly complaining about what's missing in their lives. They focus on their problems instead of thanking God for what is going right. But when you begin each day with gratitude, you invite more abundance into your life. If you woke up today, that's a blessing. If you have food to eat, a place to stay, or people who care about you, you are already more blessed than you realize. When you thank God for the small things, He will trust you with more. But gratitude isn't just about recognizing blessings when things are going well. It's about keeping faith even when things seem difficult. True faith is being able to say, God, I don't understand why this is happening, but I trust you. When you remain grateful during hard times, you show that your faith isn't based on circumstances, but on God's goodness. That mindset will keep you in position for greater things. Finally, faith requires action. You can't just pray for blessings and do nothing to prepare for them. If you're asking for success, are you putting in the work? If you want stronger relationships, are you investing in them? If you desire financial increase, are you handling what you already have wisely? God blesses those who are ready. Faith without action is incomplete. And those who receive the greatest blessings are the ones who align their actions with what they are believing for. Trust in God's timing. Remove doubt and fear. Be open to opportunities. Stay in a spirit of gratitude and act in alignment with His blessings. God's timing is not our timing, and that is one of the hardest lessons to accept. In a world where we expect instant results, we often get frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we want. But God is not in a rush. He sees the full picture, and He knows exactly when to release what we need. When we try to force things to happen on our own schedule, we often end up disappointed. But when we learn to trust that God's plan is greater than ours, we can rest in the assurance that everything will come together at the right time. Every blessing has a season, and when it's your time, nothing can stop what God has for you. While waiting on God, doubt and fear can creep in, trying to convince you that it's never gonna happen. Fear makes people stay in their comfort zones, afraid to take risks. Doubt causes people to second guess what God has already promised them. But God does not give us a spirit of fear. He gives us strength, wisdom, and courage. The moment you start speaking faith instead of fear, things begin to shift in your life. You have to believe that what God has planned for you is already in motion, even if you don't see the evidence yet. Fear will try to stop you, but faith will push you forward. When God opens doors, you have to be ready to walk through them. Many people miss their blessings because they are too focused on how they think their breakthrough should look. God rarely gives you the full picture. He gives you an opportunity, a connection, a chance to grow. But if you reject what doesn't look perfect, you might miss out on something great. Every successful person had to start somewhere. That small job, that new friendship, that unexpected challenge, it might be the very thing that leads you to your destiny. Instead of waiting for something perfect, learn to recognize the doors that God is already opening for you. One of the most powerful ways to invite more blessings into your life is to practice gratitude. When you thank God for what you already have, you make room for more. Too often, people focus on what's missing instead of appreciating what's present. But when you shift your perspective and start recognizing the little blessings around you, you open yourself up to even greater things. Even in tough times, gratitude keeps you connected to God's goodness. It reminds you that no matter what happens, He is still in control and He is still working on your behalf. Finally, you can't just pray for blessings, you have to act like you are ready for them. Faith without action is dead. If you want success, you have to put in the work. If you want a breakthrough, you have to take steps toward it. If you believe God has something great for you, then live like it. Walk with confidence, move forward with purpose, and trust that everything you need is already on its way. Trust in God's timing, remove doubt and fear, be open to opportunity, speak words of faith, stay in a spirit of gratitude, and act in alignment with His blessing. God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with our expectations. We often want immediate answers, instant success, and quick breakthroughs, but God operates on a divine schedule. He knows what is best for us, and He understands when we are truly ready to receive what He has prepared. Impatience can lead us to force things that are not meant for us, or to give up right before our blessing arrives. When you trust that God's timing is never late, you develop the patience to wait with faith, knowing that everything will fall into place at the right moment. Doubt and fear are the enemies of faith. They whisper lies that make you question whether God's promises will ever come true. Fear holds people back from taking steps toward their destiny, and doubt makes them hesitate when they should be moving forward. But God has not given us a spirit of fear. He has given us power, love, and a sound mind. Every time fear and doubt arise, you have to remind yourself of who you are in God. When you replace fear with faith, you open the door for miracles to happen in your life. God often answers prayers through unexpected opportunities, but too many people miss them because they don't recognize them for what they are. A small opportunity can lead to something greater if you are willing to take the first step. Many people pray for financial success, but ignore the small doors that could lead to increase. Others ask for a fresh start, but hesitate when God presents a new path. When you are open to seeing blessings in every situation, you position yourself for greater things. Sometimes the blessing doesn't look like what you expected, but if you trust God, you'll realize that everything is happening for a reason. What you speak over your life matters. Your words have the power to shape your future, whether for good or bad. If you constantly say, "I'll never get ahead," "Nothing good ever happens to me," or "I'm not good enough," you are reinforcing negativity and blocking your blessings. But when you declare, "I am blessed," Doors are opening for me, and God is working in my favor. You align yourself with success. Faith requires you to speak victory before you see it. The words you say today determine the reality you will experience tomorrow. Gratitude is a key that unlocks greater blessings. When you appreciate what you already have, you create space for God to give you more. Instead of focusing on what is missing, thank Him for what is present. Even in difficult times, a grateful heart shows trust in God's plan. Gratitude shifts your mindset from lack to abundance and allows you to see the goodness of God in every situation. Finally, faith requires action. You cannot sit still and expect blessings to fall into your lap. You must move, work, and prepare yourself for what you are asking for. When your actions match your faith, doors will open. When you live like your blessing is already on the way, you position yourself to receive it. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep moving forward. God's blessings are already set in motion.